nigga, stop caring so much. You niggas care too much, bro. That's why you ain't close to the bag, nigga. I've been on this shit, you feel me? Big bag. Glad big bag.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the hashtag Why Is This News podcast. This is episode number 23. I have not done this podcast for almost 2 weeks now. It's coming up on this is the second week that I haven't done it, so I took a week off from the podcast. As you guys know, I've been doing a lot of interviews for these podcasts for the past several weeks. So I wanted to kind of stop that for a little bit of time and get back into just doing the podcast where I talk about different albums and different subjects that are going on in the world right now. Because it's been a while. I haven't really been able to do that, doing these interviews. So, we are going to talk about 3 different things today. And I wanted to start off with Logic's supposed last album, No Pressure. Now, before I even get into reviewing this album, Logic retiring from the rap game, very interesting. Me personally, I don't believe this is the last we're going to hear from Logic. I believe that he mainly is taking a mental break from this shit to raise his child. Like he said, I think that's all. I'm never going to knock a man for quitting or retiring to take care of the kids. I'm never going to do that. So, good for him. If this is what he wants to do, this is what he wants to do. I think he signed like a big deal with Twitch. So now he's going to be, I guess, a gamer, a streamer now. That's what his source of revenue is going to be coming in now instead of him rapping. Who obviously be still getting money from rapping and stuff like that, even though he's not releasing any music. But I think mainly is just that he wants to take care of his child. The rap game has been very critical of him. I've even been critical of him myself over the past couple years, where his rapping just hasn't been up to par. It just hasn't been up to par like it has been when he first started to get into like the Young Sinatra days, all the way back then. I've been listening to Logic for years, back since like 2012, 2013 when he first came out. When he first started popping, he's been out longer than that. But like that's when I found out who he was. And the man's 30, I think 30 or 31. I'm not 100% sure on that. And he's decided to hang it up. I mean, I just don't believe that this is the last we're going to see of him. I don't believe that he's just going to become just some straight gamer on Twitch or do whatever avenues, or maybe even turn into like a Joe Budden maybe or something like that, and do a podcast. I don't know what Logic's career is going to look like. But I personally just don't believe that he's just going to walk away from the rap game, announce an album literally a week before, and announce his retirement out of the blue like that. We haven't heard any sort of rumblings about him thinking about retiring from the rap game at all. He always says fuck this rap shit all the time in his songs. So man, I guess maybe that's the only kind of hints we've gotten of him potentially not wanting to do this shit anymore, because he says that a lot in his rap songs. So yeah, I mean, we're gonna talk about this album, No Pressure. Obviously, the Under Pressure one was the one album that really put us on to Logic. Like that's the Logic that like brought him to a different stratosphere. This album overall is very good, very, very good, very, very chill vibes throughout every single song except for one, and that song was perfect. We got one hype track and that was it. I was not the biggest fan of that beat, by the way, but overall, like, it's a cool song. Logic has always been a good artist. He's always been a good artist. It's just his raps and the stuff that he raps about sometimes can come off as corny, and it's not cool. Like the black white thing, like that was corny. We didn't get any of that in this album. We didn't really get any of the black white stuff in this album. It was just him rapping about how he feels, about how people think, oh, he's trash because he keeps rapping about this and that. And he's like, bro, what the hell else do you want me to rap about? No, he's like, he put I forget which song it is, but he said that he put like a little scheme where he said he wakes up, go to the grocery store, and then pretty much laid out how his day goes pretty much every single day being Logic. And I mean, it sounds like the typical celebrity day. Like if you try to go out somewhere, you're gonna get bombarded by fans. They're gonna come up to you, want to sign autographs, want you to take pictures and stuff like that. You go on with your day. You go back home. You say hello to your wife, your child. You take care of them for the rest of the day, and then you do it again. I mean, that's really what his life is. And so like, he's like, I think maybe he just doesn't have enough interesting stuff maybe to rap about. Maybe that's why he's decided to retire, and it's not, maybe he needs some time. I think more than anything, this is a reset button for him to take. I think we probably won't see Logic for maybe like a year or two. I think that's my honest opinion. I think it's going to be at least a year or two. I don't know if it's going to be taking like a hiatus like Kendrick Lamar is right now. He's taking a whole 3 years. It's like damn near like Kendrick Lamar retired, because we haven't really heard anything of him rap. He's done features, and the last feature he probably did was probably like in 2019 maybe, but like early 2019. I can't remember what song it was or whatever, but that's the last time we really heard a word from Kendrick Lamar. Like, he is like, does someone know where Kendrick Lamar is? Like, someone tell him to drop music. I mean, I think he's probably just don't want to be pressured to drop music. He don't want to drop music when everyone else wants him to, maybe. And also maybe he's waiting for all the big heavy hitters to drop their albums first, and then he can drop his. So, I mean, I don't know. But maybe that's what Logic's plan is here, is to take a couple years off, not even thinking about rapping, not even thinking about going to the studio, doing none of that. Taking a couple years off, let life happen, and then maybe he can come back and really have an album that he can really, really rap about some shit that he's experienced and stuff like that. Because again, throughout this album, it's a basic throwback Logic. It's basic throwback Logic. Him talking about the struggle, him growing up, also just the bars, the double entendres here and there throughout the album. It's very, very well put together. It's a very well put together album. Like I said, very chill vibes. One that you just chill, listen to, and chill vibe out to. If you smoke weed, probably this is a great album as well for you to listen to. The only feature we actually got on this album was from Silas. I had never heard of Silas before this. This might be one of Logic's artists that he has signed under his because he has his own the Rat Pack. I think it's the Rat Pack record label or Team Visionary. I can't remember exactly what his label is right now, y'all. But yeah, I think that Silas is probably he's got to be one of his artists trying to put him on his album. But because he didn't have any other features at all, which I kind of expected. If you're saying this is gonna be a retirement album, I wouldn't expect you to have really hardly any features. It's just you. But yeah, it's interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see how Logic does. I think this how he does after him deciding to retire. I think this album is slated to sell around 85K first week, which is pretty damn good. That's pretty damn good. That's pretty good for Logic. So hey, we gonna see how long this retirement is really going to last. I'm very curious to see how long this retirement is going to last, because I just don't believe it. I don't believe it. Well, I think a lot of people didn't believe Joe Budden when he said he's retiring, that he was literally done. But you know, he retired and he's in the podcast game. He's doing very, very well. So I mean, is Logic really gonna retire, get into the gaming world, and just stick to that for I don't know how many years? I don't know. We shall see. The next album that we are going to review today is from the boy Kid Laroi. It is called Fuck Love. This boy is only 16 years old, and he's on to something, and he looks like the ugly Justin Bieber. I think that's the best description of Kid Laroi. He is the ugly, kind of trap sounding Justin Bieber. That's what he is. And I believe he's on his way. He's on his way. He's doing big things. This album only had 15 tracks, which is good. He had 3 skits in here. I did watch a little bit of him. It's like an interview / album reaction with him and I'm Dante, where he talked about this album is about this girl that he was talking to like 6 months ago, whatever, something like that. And he made this whole album is pretty much about her, how they had their on and offs or whatever, and she got mad at him and sent him all kind of messages and stuff like that. And so like the first one is called Booty Call, where like she's complaining about how he hardly even texts the girl and shit like that, and so yeah, it's very, 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 very interesting. This album started off slow for me. Maybe was just okay. Wrong is definitely the hit to me. Wrong featuring Lil Mozzie, that is the hit. That song is fire as hell. I think he should push that track a lot from this album. I think that's the song he should push. I Wish, not a big fan. Not Fair with featuring Corbin. I had never heard of Corbin before this, and I probably will listen to Corbin now after this. Not the biggest fan. Then the Bathroom Skit. Go featuring Juice WRLD. Fire. I reacted to that song on YouTube, so if you guys want to go watch that reaction video, I'll either leave it on the end screen or you guys can just go find it on my channel. Yeah, great song with him and Juice. This is a feature that he got from Juice literally kind of right before Kid Laroi really started to pop off and blow up type shit. That's when he really got that feature, and yeah, it's a shame that Juice WRLD wasn't alive for them to like shoot a music video for. He obviously, Kid Laroi shot the music video on his own, and he had the video of him recording the feature for him. So I mean, that was pretty cool. Tell Me Why. I did not get a chance to react to this just because there was just so much music, I think, last week that came out. It was just too much to try to get to and react to. But Tell Me Why. Fire track. Fire track. Same thing. It's more the end of it's from the middle to the end of the album is when he really did well, which is different. Because usually your albums these days, they start off strong and then they start to tail off towards the end. This was different for me. The beginning wasn't great, but he finished off strong. Same thing. Fire. New Guy. It's a skit where the dude picks up the because Kid Laroi calls the girl that he's talking about this and the whole entire album about. And a new guy picks up. He's like, hey, don't call her phone no more and shit like that. Erase You. Basically, he's erasing the girl from his life. Running through his mind. Wish You Well, where they calls her back again. And she says they're done and shit like that. Need You Most, So Sick. This man did a Neo remake. This man remade So Sick of Love Song. He really remade that track. When I heard that, I'm like, ain't no way this boy remade that. That was a fire remake. I don't know if Neo, I'm assuming Neo gave him the clearance to make a track like that, but that was great tribute to Neo, man, because that song was iconic by Neo. And the last song, Selfish, again, another great track as well. So overall, started off slow, finished off very, very well. I will say the Kid Laroi, he's definitely on to something. His man's only 16. He is young. He's very, very young. And he's got it. I mean, he's kind of like Juice WRLD in a way. I don't think he can. I've never heard him rap before. I've never heard him try to rap at all. But you just don't expect it to come out of his singing, like, I don't know if, I think he's from a different country because I've heard him talk before. He's got an accent. I'm not exactly sure where he's from. You guys can let me know exactly where he's from, but he's on to something. And I mean, the kid's only 16. He can go places. I don't know, he has the versatility to rap or not. You guys can let me know if there's any other rap tracks, because I'm just not getting on to him. I've really only heard these tracks from the album and the track he has with Little Tecca that went really big. Other than that, I haven't really like delved into the Kid Laroi like that. But I can tell an artist is onto something when he's onto something, and he's onto something. Only, like I said, I keep saying it, but he's only 16. He is so young. He can really go places. He really can go places. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the next topic, and probably the last topic we're gonna talk about, and it's probably the topic we're gonna spend a decent amount of time on, and that is this just Kanye West overall. So Kanye West has been tweeting a lot. He also is supposed to drop an album in 2 days called Donda. We have the album cover, and it looks like it's his kids. It's a very interesting album cover. I've never seen anything quite like this. It's different. It's different. I will say that. I don't feel too. It's okay. I wouldn't say it's anything like crazy, but like it's different. We shall see what this album's gonna do. I don't expect this album to be as heavily gospel as the last album was. I don't expect like it was G for Jesus King. I don't expect that. We probably are still gonna get some of those kind of tracks on the album, but I don't expect this to be that heavy of a gospel album. But we shall see. We shall see. But let's talk about the Kanye West, the Twitter rants, where he's gone at. Just talk about the one thing where he's gone telling Drake to come at me. I don't know well, we know what's kind of sparking this is because this man is he's bipolar. He suffers from that, and the unfortunate part is that he has medication to help him with this bipolarness, if that's a word, but he doesn't like to take it because he said he doesn't like how it messes with him mentally. He does not like it at all, so he doesn't take it, and I think that's why we have outbursts like he has on Twitter, and he's just speaking whatever is on his mind. Now, a lot of people will like to say that Kanye West is crazy, he's lost his mind, he needs help. I agree, he needs help. I think he really needs to see someone and just, what is the gist of all of his mental, what is the gist of everything? Why is he having these outbursts on Twitter? Why is he putting personal information out in the public about him and Kim Kardashian, and how they try to trap him, put him in a excuse me, they try to put him in a I don't know if it's a sane asylum, but like a Kanye West said they try to lock him up and put him into a room so he could try to get help. And he put all the information out on Twitter, and then Kim comes out, puts out a whole statement defending Kanye, talking about how he has mental issues and everything else. And then the reports talking about that Kim and Kanye are gonna get a divorce. Like, it's wild shit that's going on with Kanye West. Now, people also had this speculation, and I've seen this as well. Is Kanye West really doing all this on Twitter, making all this hoopla, just to promote the Donda album? Is he doing all of these theatrics? Is all of this stuff behind the scenes planned for him to put out all of these tweets, Kim K to put out this statement, for them to put out rumors that they're getting divorced and all this other stuff, just for people to check out the Donda album? It's hard to argue whether or not it is or not. Like, it really, really is, because he did this. He had a lot of different rants when Jesus is King came out. I mean, that's what he did. He had a lot of different rants that were all out on Twitter. And then Jesus is King dropped. And so you just wonder, is this really even real? Is any of the stuff that Kanye West is talking about even real? And he is just doing all of this kind of stuff to bring publicity and bring sales to his album. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. You can look at it either way. It depends on how you want to look at it. Do you want to look at it and say, oh, like every artist, oh, there's always something behind it. Never believe anything that's on the internet. It's tough. It's like you're working with a slippery slope here on deciding what is real and what is fake. Because we've seen, like I said, we've seen Kanye West do this. He did it with Jesus is King. He had a bunch of outbursts, a bunch of rants. And it's just like, I don't know. It's hard to decipher what is Kanye's mental state right now, because no one's really with Kanye. I mean, like Dr. Dre, like we've seen him in the studio with Dr. Dre. I'm assuming Dr. Dre probably has his hands on this album specifically. We've seen him with Snoop Dogg. We've seen him with the main artists that I mean we love, that are major artists that are historic and are legends. And I just wonder what is really going on? What is really going on in the Kanye West, Kim Kardashian household? If that makes sense, because it's just too much. It's just too much that's out there. And then Kanye West, he put out a tweet either last night or earlier today saying that he apologizes to Kim Kardashian for making everything public, which, I mean, he should. Because that kind of stuff should not be public information. It's kind of like a Deji KSI, not to compare the two, but it's kind of like a Deji KSI thing where you put in, just for YouTube terms, just for people that watch YouTube videos, stuff like that. It's kind of like you're putting personal information out there, that personal issues that don't need to be public. You're bringing the household arguments out to the public when that's nobody else's business, but it should only be between the two of y'all. That's it. It should not be between anyone else. So it's gonna be very, very interesting what Kanye West's album sales are gonna look like. How well is his album gonna do with all of this built up hype around him? And all this talk about him, like, is he crazy? Is he mentally unstable? Like, what's going on with Yeezy? This is not the Yeezy that we knew growing up from the college dropout and the graduation days. This isn't the Yeezy that we all knew and loved. This is a different kind of Kanye West. Even though he's still, in my opinion, one of the greatest producers ever. One of the greatest producers ever. One of the greatest rappers as well. But production wise, like, he's probably top 10 to ever do it, honestly. He probably really is top 10 greatest producers of all time. But you guys can let me know what you guys think about that. But that is going to do it, ladies and gentlemen, for this podcast, episode number 23. This was a little bit shorter than I expected it to be. It's only like 24, 25 minutes maybe at the most. But yeah, got back into it. You guys can let me know what you guys think of this Logic No Pressure album. Do you guys really honestly think that this man Logic is going to retire from the rap game. I don't believe it, but do you believe it? The Kid Laroi's album, are you fucking with it? Do you like it? Is he next up? Is he the next guy? He's only 16 years old. He's only 16. And Kanye West, the Donda album, are you going to listen to it? What are your expectations for the Donda album? And what is your thoughts about Kanye West, the person himself, with all of these Twitter rants? And is he doing this just to get album sales? You guys let me know. I am out. Peace.
Hey, damn baby got cake, I need a portion. Ass so big, I'ma need a forklift. Beat the pussy up like